Hello, friends and family. How are you doing today? We are live. We are live, and it's going to be an amazing section tonight. And I know that you are going to get a lot of value. So, we are live. We are live. Let me know if you can hear me, and let me know if you can see me in case you are online. We are live. Let me just check from my other device. Let me just check. Okay. On my other device. I think I am audible. On my screen is not showing. Okay. My other device. I think I am audible. On my screen is not showing. Okay. My other device. I think I am audible. Okay. No. No. Okay, my screen is showing now. Glad. Great. Great. I'm excited to be having this session with you. So if you are online, please let me know you are online. Let me know if you can hear me and let me know if you can see me. Let me know if you can hear me and please let me know if you can see me clearly. We are going to be starting shortly. Just give a few minutes for others and then we are starting. Okay, great. We have 3 people online. Yes, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Please let me know where you're joining us from. Let me know if you can hear me clearly, if you can see me. Kindly use the chat so that I can be sure that we are together. We are talking about positioning for revenue growth and winning grants, positioning your business for revenue growth and for grant winning in 2026. The year is still quite young, even though the year is running very fast, and a lot of things are already going on. For me, I'm already making a lot of progress in my business, in my personal development. I'm reading my third book at the moment, and kind of doing quite a lot of things and pushing a lot of things at the same time. I don't know how it is for you at your own end, but then this is the time to start positioning yourself. This is the time to start preparations for whatever you are expecting and whatever you are looking up to in the new year. So it is important that we have this interesting and engaging section, but I want it to really be a very engaging section. So I need your help in the chats. I need you in the chats. So please kindly use the chat. Let me know where you're joining us from. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. Let me know if you can see me. Thank you, Chinomso. Yes, who else is online? Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see me. Kindly use the chat so that we can proceed in the section. I want to be sure that somebody can hear me and somebody can see me before we proceed. So please kindly use the chat. Tell me your name. Tell me where you're joining us from. Let me know how excited you are to join this section and let me know what your expectations are. Yeah, because I hope that you would be able to achieve your goals after now. Thank you so much, Ademola, for joining. Ademola can hear and see me. Thank you so much, Ademola. Thank you so much, Chinomso, for joining from Lagos. Interesting. Thank you so much. Okay. Chinomso can also hear and see me. Okay. I don't necessarily need you to see me. As long as you can see my slide, I'm good. So if you can see my slide, kindly confirm to me in the chat that you can see my slide so that we can proceed. Can you see the slide, please? Can you see my slide? Okay. So basically talking about positioning your business and also positioning yourself, for growth and for grant winning. The focus is going to be on grant winning, how you can position yourself to win, position your business to win grants in 2026. But then somebody had asked me that why did I combine positioning your business for revenue growth as well as grant winning together? Why didn't I just, talk about grant winning? Yes, I wanted to focus on grant winning, but then it's also important for you to understand how to position your business for revenue growth, because if your business is doing well and you are generating sufficient revenue for your business, in fact, you may not necessarily be sitting around looking for grants to grow your business, because your business is yielding sufficient revenue and sufficient profit for you to be able to scale and for you to be able to achieve your business growth and your business growth strategies and your business ambition, goals, and objectives. But if your business is not doing well in terms of generating sufficient revenue and making profit, even if you win grants and you have grant funding in your business, you may still run into losses. And over time, you may still end up losing your business, or your business may not end up even still achieving its goals. So it's important for you to understand how to position your business for grant winning and also be able to position your business for revenue growth. It's really very, very important that you are able to do that. So I will be starting with positioning your business for revenue growth. Then I'm going to talk a bit around grant winning, and I'm going to give you a couple of exercises and examples that would help you to be able to start off on this particular journey. Now, unfortunately, because this is an online section, it's not a specific session, so I may not be able to use one specific business example. So I'm going to be speaking generally and using general examples. Okay. And I hope that you will still be able to get the most out of this session despite, the generalization that we are going to be having. Okay. So thank you, Demola. Oh, Demola says that it's from the growth of. Okay. Interesting. So nice to meet you again, and thanks for joining and keeping in touch as well. Now, let's look at the starting point. The starting point is whether you are ready. I always like to start from this point, or I always like to start from the point of readiness. Reason being that if you are not ready, if you are not ambitious, if you are not intentional, you cannot make it. Winning grants, building a business requires a lot of work. It requires a lot of intentionality. So sometimes when I see people that say that, oh, they want to leave paid employment and start their own business because they want to be their own boss, because they are just tired of the stress of 9 to 5, and somebody is just commanding them here and there and all that and all that. I smile and I laugh. Reason being that when you are an entrepreneur and you are building a business, you do not have a closing time. You are literally working round the clock. You are going to bed, you are thinking about your business. You are waking up, you are thinking about your business. You are listening to customers, you are looking for suppliers, you are doing your financial records. A lot of things to be done. And I kid you not, at the early stage of your business, if your business is still under an MSME, meaning a micro, small, and medium scale enterprise, you most likely are doing everything yourself. So you are your accountant, you are your sales manager, you are your marketer, you are the front desk representative, you are the customer representative, you are the you know. A lot of people love the CEO title, and so you will see they just put CEO, this, very beautiful. But if you are running a one-man business or a micro, small, and medium scale enterprise, and you do not have teams, you are literally doing it yourself. Then, if you're at that point where you have a couple of staff, I kid you not, until you get to the point where you are able to build sufficient structures for the business to run without you being really present, you will still have to do a lot of the work. You still have to do a lot of the hand holding. You still do a lot of the pushing. You will still do a lot of supervision. You will deal with staff issues. You will deal with theft. You will deal with a lot of things. So building a business requires a lot. So many of the times when somebody tells me, "Oh, I want to start a business, I want to start a business," the first thing I want to clarify is, are you really ready? Do you really understand what it takes to build a business? Now, I'm not saying to have a side hustle. There's a very, very big difference between a side hustle and a business. A side hustle is something that you do once in a while to just make some extra bucks here and there and be able to pay the bills and be able to just afford something or live a more comfortable here and there. But a business is an entity. Business is an entity with different components in that entity, depending on the kind of business, whether it's a product driven business or it's a service driven business, that now impacts the kind of structure. Now, when I say building a business, it means that the business is at point A today. The goal is that this business should move from point A to point B in the nearest future, or move to point C, point D, point E, and keep growing and growing and growing until it becomes a conglomerate. So many of the times when I interact with business people, I first of all want to understand, what is your vision? Where do you see this business in the next 10 years? Where do you see this business in the next 5 years? Are you running it as a business or as a side hustle? If you're running it as a side hustle, the truth is that it will be difficult for you to win grant funding for it. And it will be difficult for you to experience significant revenue growth in that kind of business. But if you are being hustle, then winning grants, because you are already on the path of building systems and structures that would attract funders to you, that would help to raise fund confidence so that they are able to put their funds in you, in your business. You are also very intentional about revenue growth, about the overall business growth. So the question is, are you ready? Right? It's easy to say, oh, I need more sales, I need more funding, I just need this grant and all that. But it takes more than just saying, oh, I need more, I need more, I need more, or I want this. So for example, ended the section with the growth up that was done some weeks ago. If I want to check with you to ask you, what have you done from that time to this time? You are having a part two now. From that time to now, what have you done concerning grant? Steps have you taken in your business? What changes have happened from what you learned from that particular training? That would, the steps that you have taken, what you have done, would determine your level of intentionality and your level of seriousness to actually win grants. Do you see? So it's not just about desiring, is one thing to desire, is another thing to make very, very concrete decision. And to your decision, you will add discipline. Now, that discipline is now meant to keep you accountable so that you've made up your mind that, oh, I am going to check for opportunities on a weekly basis. I'm going to work on this aspect of my business. I am going to work on my pitch deck. I'm going to have my annual financial statement. I'm going to do my business financial analysis to really understand what my profit margin is, what my actual business expenses are, and do those analysis and all that. It requires a lot of work and a lot of intentionality. So the question is, are you ready? How ready are you? How intentional are you to put in the work to be able to win grants and to be able to grow your business revenue? Don't forget, first of all, the goal should be that you are focusing on growing your business. And as part of the process of growing your business, then grant funding will meet you on the way. So the first focus is growing your business. And as part of the process of growing your business, funding meets you on the way, not the other way around, right? Because if you want to go the other way around of wanting to if you want to go the other way around of wanting to win a grant, you may lack the requisite detail, requisite, the requisite due diligence that is required for you to win those grant funding. So it's better to go about it the other way around. Let's move on next. Now, positioning for revenue growth. Let's talk about positioning for revenue growth. Revenue has to do with two major areas. Revenue has to do with two major areas. Number one is acquisition, and number two is maximization. When we're talking about revenue growth, what the metrics that leads to revenue? The metrics that leads to revenue are just two majorly. Number one, customers, and number two, sales. So when you acquire customers, when you acquire sales, then you are gotten some revenue. So you're selling something for 5,000 naira. You have somebody who is willing to buy it for 5,000 naira. The person pays 5,000 naira. That is a sale, and that 5,000 naira is your revenue. So you've made one sale and you have 5,000 naira revenue. You get somebody who buys 10, you've made 50,000 naira in revenue and you have made 10 sales. So the two legs on which revenue is standing on is number one, acquisition of revenue, which has to do with sales, and then maximization of revenue. Now, when we talk about acquisition of revenue, what are we talking about? Is about getting more paying customers, not getting customers, but getting more paying customers. There are people who have customers who, just relate with them, dance around them, but don't pay or buy things on credit. Now, whatever has been bought from you on credit cannot necessarily be categorized as part of your revenue. It is what you have actually sold, that you have received or you receive cash for. That is what you can categorize as your revenue. So acquisition of revenue. When we talk about acquisition of revenue, as an entrepreneur, as a business person, you need to constantly have an automated system that enables you to acquire customers, to acquire sales, to acquire new customers, new sales. Do you understand? How do you do that? Through constant marketing. I usually tell entrepreneurs that seriously, if you want to grow your revenue, you must constantly be marketing. Marketing is not an option. Marketing is not something you do when it's convenient for you. You must have an automated marketing system that ensures that you have a constant growth in your sales funnel. and in your sales pipeline. Do you understand? You have activities. It's either you are running an ads, or you have a team that are constantly engaging with customers, or you have some people who are going out to engage, or you are leveraging social media with content, or you are just constantly carrying out an action that leads to acquisition of customers. Now, let me ask you on this call, how many actions have you taken this year to acquire new customers? How many actions have you taken this year to acquire new customers? This year, January, today is 22nd. From the 1st of January to 22nd of January, 22 days, how many steps, how many actions have you taken to acquire new customers? How many ads have you run? How many new people have you talked to about your business? How many contents have you put out there about your business? How many sales or affiliates have you explored, or affiliate opportunities have you explored, that you have explored to either market your business visible and put your business? How many have you explored this year? How many? And then at the end of, you look at your books and then you say, hey, even December was even better than January. Oh God, what is happening? Oh God, what is happening? But what have you put in? What have you done? Now, really, you should have a system whereby they have an automated marketing system whereby you are constantly acquiring new customers. So, marketing is a progressive activity. Business visibility is a progressive activity. It's not a one-time thing. So, it's not a one-time thing where you say, okay, do promo. We only do promo, at this time of the year. There is this brand, online that I really love. Their marketing, they have a crazy marketing system. All through the year, they are running one ad or the other. They are running one promo or the other. Is it that they are running maybe January, 10 days in January, they'll do free delivery. Then maybe the remaining another 10 days in January, they will do buy one, get one free. Another 10 days in January, they will say, okay, if you buy so number, you get this one. Like, they are constantly running one promo or the other. And because of that, they are constantly acquiring new customers and building their visibility as a brand. Do you understand? So you need to enrich your sales, your marketing activities. You need to enrich your visibility, and you need to constantly ensure that you are visible. You are running a business. We go to your social media platform. There is absolutely nothing. Since this year, you have not posted anything about it. You have not said anything about it. Maybe all you did was Happy New Year, and that was it. And then you sit down and you say, oh, my revenue is not growing. Oh, I'm not having new customers. People are not patronizing my business. No, 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 no. Marketing is like a battle. It's like you are in the battlefield. When you're in the battlefield, you can't afford to sleep. You can't afford to be to lose sensitivity. You can't afford to just relax and all that. You are constantly on your toes because you know very well that you need to ensure. You just definitely need to ensure that you are at alert in case of any attack. That's the way marketing is. You need to be constantly alert. If you want to grow your revenue, you need to be constantly alert so that you ensure that nothing attacks your business revenue at all. And as your business grows, your marketing effort needs to grow as well. What happens with a lot of businesses and a lot of people is that when their business begin to grow, maybe they've acquired like 10 customers, then they say, oh, let's rest small, and then they relax. In that process of relaxing, and their visibility, and your customers are trying out new products, they find other products that they get comfortable with, and then they move on as possible. But if you are constantly marketing, you are constantly in touch with them, you are constantly visible to them, the breathing space to think of another brand or to think of another. Number two, your sales channel. Sales channel. How do you manage your sales processes? Of the times, right? During the Christmas break, it was a very practical thing. My husband is also a business person, and then he had taken the company official phone and had taken it and had kept it in the house. And you see people calling at odd hours of the night, 11 p.m. and all that, and he's responding to them because he was running ads during the holidays in preparation for the program that he needed to launch in January. So he was running ads, responding to customers. I was just studying how he was just at it and everything, you know. And then at some point, he was now the checking the history of some of the chats that the customer service person, and the salesperson that was handling the phone before officially, has had with customers. And it was very, very appealing. You could see very wrong information, some people talking, the person talking to customers anyhow, not giving sufficient information, in some cases taking like 5 days to respond to one chat, and all that and all that. And it was like, wow. So this is what is wasting all my marketing budget, because you run an ad, and then you link it to the official line, and then the official line is held by a salesperson who's supposed to attend to these people timely, give them the right information, answer all their questions, and close them so that they are able to convert to customers. But this person is literally not doing anything serious, and it's just playing around, not knowing that it is money that the person is wasting. In fact, that was when I realized that your sales channel is very, very critical. Is as creating efforts, because if you're doing, and then your business process is not yet completely automated, and people have to talk to somebody before they get to finalize their um before they get to make a decision, or they even get to finalize their purchase, how that person attends to them go a long way to determine the final decision. Do you understand? So that's the reason why your sales channel is really, really very important. Are you is user friendly, that people can, your marketing, is it going to a sales channel that they would have to interact with somebody? Are they interacting with you directly, interacting with somebody else? And if they are interacting with somebody else, is the person really trained and understand how to manage sales conversation and them? Are you also monitoring to ensure that the person is also doing the right thing? Otherwise, you're wasting a lot of effort. Now, as part of the acquisition process, another point is partnerships and referrals. Because if you're going to effectively, acquire new customers, sometimes you have to leverage partnerships, and sometimes you have to also leverage referrals. In fact, there was something I had, there's one thing I believe in so much. If you are a good business person and you do a fantastic job, you turn your customers into your evangelists. They will be the one referring people to you, they will be the one talking to people about your business, and that will bring you much more income. Somebody said something, he said, in every customer, there are four other customers. So one person can bring you at least four other people. So if you trivialize that one person and that one person is not satisfied, then you have lost four people. Do you see? So it's very important that your partnerships and referral process is there, then your market expansion, which acquisition, because when you want to acquire, sometimes you may need to make a decision whether you want to go to new locations, you want to explore new locations, you want to explore new platforms for marketing your products and your business, or for selling your products and your business. You understand? So that is also a critical decision. Now, when it comes to maximization, a lot of people put in a lot of effort into acquisition. But I want to tell you the honest truth. If you put in half of the effort you put in acquisition into maximization, your business revenue will grow. And I mean it. If you put in half of the effort you put into acquisition, into maximization, the truth is that your business revenue will grow. Because a lot of the times, what makes people to leave businesses and move on to other people is because they are not properly maximized. Do you understand? They are not properly maximized. There is no satisfaction in terms of that particular business. They are not fully, they are not comfortable. They have questions, the customer service is bad and all that. So they are not maximized. And once they are not maximized, they start looking out for the very next opportunity. So, how do you ensure maximization? Number one, your pricing strategy. In terms of your pricing strategy, you need to ensure that your pricing strategy is competitive, and not just competitive, but your customers understand why your price is your price. If, for example, you are selling a premium product, they understand that it is a premium product, and they are not just paying premium, but they are getting premium. Once people get value for their money, they will stay. But once people think that you are cheating them or they are not getting value for their money, they will go. That's the simple formula of life. When they think that they are getting value for money, they will stay. They are not getting value for money, they will go. So it is really very important and interest that you review your pricing strategy to ensure that you have effective pricing system that does not just help you make profits, but also help you to be able to maximize customers. Many of the times when people are setting up their prices, they are focused only on profits. Oh, okay. If I put the price here, I will make 20%. Will 20% be enough for me? No. I want about 30%. So let me increase the price a bit. Or maybe they are looking at, okay, the market price is this. So let's leave it at this rate. No, you should be thinking in the light of maximizing your customers. And then another way to maximize your customers is when you upsell and you cross sell to them. So you can have products that are a complementary products. And when you have complementary products, it's easier to upsell and cross sell. Somebody who has served you before or who has patronized you before, it is much more easier to get that person to patronize you again, especially when the person had a good time and you were able to offer a good service to the person. If you were able to offer a good service to the person when the person patronized you, it is 10 times easier for you to get that person to patronize you again than acquire new customer. Do you understand? And then another is repeat purchases. So, for example, there was somebody that I usually buy a particular product from, and I reached out to the person to say, "Oh, I have run out of products, so please bring some for me, on this particular day." And then I waited, the person didn't bring it. Oh, when I saw her, I was like, "Ah, what happened? You didn't bring my goods." She was like, "Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry." I was like, "No problem." Then later she was like, "Oh, can I bring it on so day?" I said, "Why not? Please bring it. I need it because I'll be traveling." That day came and went, the person didn't bring it. It was the day I was traveling. The person that saw me again. I said, "Oh, I forgot your stuff." I said, "Oh, sorry, I'm already traveling. So I don't think I need it anymore." And she was like, "Oh, sorry, sorry, sorry." That person has lost a customer because I had to go and get that thing from somewhere else. Why? Because the person did not take the business attitude, not taking things serious. So, in terms of repeat purchases, you as an entrepreneur, in fact, sometimes you should even track to know, like, to take your customer, especially for those repeat products, how long it will take your customers to know. You understand? If there's something that you have studied and say, okay, one bottle of, let's say, this particular oil is going to serve this customer for like 1 month. Once it's getting to 3 weeks, You start reaching out to the customer to find out, when will you need um, a refill? Are you out of products now? You will be shocked that the customer will tell you, oh, bring, yes, oh, my product just finished and all that. So you need to be proactive if you want to have repeat purchases. If you want to have repeat purchases, that's the reason why a lot of businesses that are doing well, they maintain the contacts of their customers and they regularly check up on them. They regularly, whenever they are doing promo, they send it to them. Whenever they are having programs, they send it to them, just so that they are abreast, at what is going on, and they constantly maintain these customers. Right. And then the last one I'm going to talk about will be customer experience and retention. When your customers have fantastic experience, when they have good experience with your business, the truth is that they will stay, they will be loyal to you. But when they have bad experience, they are looking for the next customer that they want to go to. So it is now left to you. Now, how can you achieve all this? Number one, you need to know your product. Know your product so well. Because, for example, for you to be able to do a good marketing and do a good visibility content, you need to be able to know your product and talk about it. Whether you are the one producing it or you are into trade, meaning you are buying and selling, you need to know that product so well, so that when you talk about it, you talk about it with so much confidence that anybody that hears you, anybody that listens to you, know that you know what you are talking about. And you need to know what problem it is solving, what need it is meeting, what pain point it is addressing. You need to be able to know those things and focus on those things and let people know that this product is not an ordinary product. If you patronize this product, these and these and these are the benefits, these and these and these are the advantage and the likes and the likes and the likes. You need to know your product. Number two, you need to represent your product very, very well. Because, first of all, you are the first eye of your product, you are the first face of your product, especially when you are still building, you are still an MSME, you are the face of your product. People want to know who is the founder, who is the owner, who is they want to know. So you are the face of your product and you need to represent your product properly. If you do not represent your product properly, what happens is that you lose a lot of customers. And then next is that you need to go where the people that pay you are. Many of the times we are doing random marketing to people who cannot pay, talking to people who do not need what we have. That's the reason why a lot of people waste a lot of money on marketing. And that's the reason why sometimes if you want to run digital marketing ads, that the part of targeting is really, really very important. Because if you run your ads to the wrong target audience, kind of results that you're expecting to get. So your targeting needs to be on point, your target, for you to be able to get the expected results. Do you understand? So you need to go where the people that pay you are, and then you need to engage with them and you build know, like, and trust with them. There is no way that you say, oh, you want to carry yourself as a CEO. You are not interfacing with customers. You are not interacting with customers. You are not checking the chats between your team and the customers. You are not reading feedbacks. You are not reading complaints. I was listening to one a businessman who is a very big international businessman in Africa. And he was saying something. He said, once every day, in order for him to remain in touch with his customers and his business, it takes the calls, the customer service calls. He sits down and he calls at least 10 customers every day. He ensures he engage with at least 10 customers every day. And he's a big CEO of a big company. And he's doing this. So you can imagine, why will his business not succeed? When he's constantly in touch with his customers, he's constantly engaging with his customers and he's able to build a very solid relationship with the market. And there is a big connection between him and the market. Do you see? So if you are going to succeed, you need to engage with them, build no like and trust, so that you are able to turn your customers to your evangelists. Then another key point is this: you need to eliminate revenue leakages. In many of our businesses, there are lots of revenue leakages, and because of that, even though you are putting in a generation process into your customer acquisition, that you are not seeing the money. Why? Because of leakages. And what could be some of these leakages? It could be thefts, maybe staff that are stealing from you. You understand? So you need to set structures in place to ensure that if there are people that are stealing or whatever, you are able to identify it on time. It does not linger for too long to the extent of almost crumbling your business before you realize that people have been stealing from you. And that's the reason why you have to be present. You just have to be present and set structures in place that will help, such that even when you are not present, you are still present. Do you see? Another could be wastages, because a lot of people do not have sufficient structures. Then they have staff that waste things a lot. Today they've spoiled this one, you've gone to buy it. Tomorrow they spoiled that one, you've gone to replace it. Next tomorrow they spoiled that one, you've gone to replace it. There was a time when, in one of my businesses, staff were just spoiling things anyhow. And within a very short time, I realized that they spoiled things worth 500,000. We had to institute a policy that says that if you spoil something, you pay for it. From the moment that policy was instituted, everybody started becoming very careful, because you don't want a situation whereby you are using your 1 month salary to pay for something that you got spoiled. Everybody started becoming careful. Do you see? So if you are going to grow in revenue, you have to eliminate leakages, eliminate wastages, and close up those potholes within your business that is draining your business revenue and draining the little money that you are making from your business, so that you do not lose them. And then finally, you have to document and share your story. You have to document and share your story. You have a story, success stories, business process story, customer experience stories, customer success stories. You understand? You have to be able to document these stories, and you have to be able to share it. When you share it, people get engrossed, people get touched, people get blessed, and you see more people who are willing to take chances at your business, who are willing to explore, with you, and see how, they want to patronize your business as well. Okay, so that would take us to the next point, where we continue to talk about this important subject. So let's talk about, can my business win a grant? Yes, of course, your business can win a grant. Your business can win a grant. Whether you are running a traditional business or a non-traditional business, you can win a grant. And how is this so? Number one, if you're running an impactful vision, you can win a grant. If you're running an efficient and a scalable business, you can win a grant. So, what is an impactful vision? An impactful vision is one that solves a real time problem, meets a real time need, and it is tested and validated with some level of results. So if you are running a business, it's not enough for you to run a business. It's enough for you to ensure that your business has been tested and trusted. So by your business being tested and trusted means that you have your products are meeting the right target market. People have tested the product and they've given you good testimonies or testimonials and the likes. So an impactful vision solves a real-time problem. You need to be clear on the problem you are solving. You need to be sure that it is scalable. You need to be sure that it is accountable and it is sustainable, because funders want to fund businesses that are accountable, businesses that are scalable. They don't just want to fund just any business. They want to be sure that the business are scalable. Do you understand? Because they want the business to outlive them. Do you see? If you are running a business and the business is not scalable, the chances that funding would be very, very limited, because it means that the business starts and ends with you, and you can only serve a limited number of, be able to ensure that your business model, you to meet more people or meet the needs of more people, um impact the lives of more people, solve problems for people, and be able to meet the needs of more people. Okay, so moving on, once you establish that your business meets this criteria, then what do you then need? Determination. You would need then a very, very strong determination, right? That would enable you to make a decision, a very strong decision. And what are those kind of decisions you'll be making? Number one, you'll be making a decision that, or you'll be determining that you'll be ready to invest time, invest money, invest energy to prepare and learn. So when it comes to grant winning, sometimes you learn practically. For some people, they can attend a class like this and they've gotten all they need, right? But for some other people, they will need a lot of handholding. Some other people will need a lot of handholding. Some people, they don't need any handholding. All they need is just to attend a training like this, and then they are stirred up and they are ready to run with it. You understand? You must be willing to attend trainings and actually finish them. Sign up for programs. Be willing to fix the gaps in your business, the structural gaps. We talked about different points on revenue growth. How are you going to fix those problems in your business? You have to practically take steps to be issues, right? You must be willing to gather documents and incorporate the right structures into your business, right? And then one must be ready to also hear no. And instead of getting discouraged, you rather improve. Because many of the times, before you win one particular grant opportunity, you may have put out multiple opportunities, multiple applications. Sometimes some people put out like 10 applications before they win one. Some people put out even much more applications before they win one. Do you see? So if you are somebody that you are not ready to hear no, you think that the very first application you put out, you will win it immediately. The truth is that it may not work that way. And that's what discourages a lot of people and make them to quit on the journey of grant winning. So you must be ready to hear no. And instead of quitting, get more energized and get more determined. And then you take the feedback from that particular application process, the lessons learned from that particular application process, and then you utilize it to improve yourself and improve your business. So now, in terms of preparing to win, there are documents you need to get ready. If you want to apply for grants and you want to position yourself for grant winning in this 2026, there are key documents that you need to get ready. Key things you need to get ready. The first one is your legal documents. The first one are your legal documents. The second one are your internal business details and data. So if your business do not have data, this is the time you should start tracking your business data, so that you say from 2026 or from January 2026, this is the number of sales that we have had. This is the number of repeated customers that we have had. This is the total amount of revenue that we have generated. This is the total amount of profits that we have made. So let 2025 be gone, right? If you can pull the data for 2025, beautiful. But if you cannot pull the data for 2025, start now from January 2026 and start gathering your business data, your business revenue data, your pricing strategy, your product service description, your customer data. At least you should have the details of every customer that that patronize your business, at least their names, their phone numbers, their email address, so that if you want to contact them through email, beautiful. If you want to contact them through their phones, beautiful. But you should have their data. You should have their data, right? Your revenue data, your funding plan, your growth plan, your sustainability strategy. Those you need for application for grant opportunity. Document, your legal documents, your organizational entity document, your governance document, your management information, your pitch deck. So if you are running a business and you want to win grant this 2026, have a pitch deck. It doesn't have to be perfect, but have a pitch deck that speaks to the details of your business. Do you see? Have a pitch deck that speaks of your business, what you offer, what your costing looks like, what your business strategy looks like, and have those basic details in your business, your financial details, how much you have made, how much you are making, what's your profit margin. By now you're supposed to have had those records from January 2026, especially because from January 2026 in Nigeria, if you are in Nigeria, we are operating under a new tax law. So under this tax law, if you are not keeping records, you are at risk of running into problem with the government. And many of the times when funders want to fund you, they don't want to fund a business that is already a problem with the government. Reason being that if they fund you when you already have the likelihood that the money that they will send to your account by the government, or maybe you will take the money and use it to pay fine, use it to pay penalties and all that. And they don't want that. They want the money to be for your business growth. So they don't want to even try to fund any business that have any problem at all, because they themselves, they don't want to have problem with the government. Because many of the times when you are funding a business that has problem with the government, you yourself, you also indirectly fall into problem with the government. So nobody wants to serve penalty because they want to be good to you, or because you have a good business idea, or because you're able to pitch very well. Nobody would want to take that risk. You understand? The funders themselves will want to also protect their integrity. Do you understand? So, what are some of the external details that you need? Industry or sector statistics, the magnitude of the problem that you are solving, the policy context or the development priorities, the market trend for businesses, demand and supply. What is the market trend? You need to understand the market trend. You need to understand what is reigning in your sector, in your industry, the industry you are playing in. What are the evolutions in that particular industry? Do you understand? With the evolution of technology and AI and robotics, in this industrial revolution, what is its impact in your industry? Is it making any significant changes in your industry? Will it affect customer behavior? Because the truth is that with the evolution of AI and all that, customer behavior in so many fields is already changing. Do you understand? Before, a lot of people are struggling to buy ring lights, to have a reasonable space, or to go and book Airbnb to shoot content and all that. Now, in this new regime, a lot of people are rather struggling to learn AI and using AI to create their content, rather than going to look for places that they will use for content. Do you see? Because a lot of people are doing AI content and they are passing their message out, and they are also going viral. Target population and benefit, very important. Competition and the ecosystem. Understand what the competition is, and then you need to understand what the funder priorities are. You need to understand what the funders priorities are. This is very, very okay. So moving on to the next point. So you need to wait till you get it all perfect before you start looking out for opportunities. Absolutely no. You just need to start now. So how do you then position yourself or position your business for these opportunities. You need to position your business for these opportunities by what? Number one, align with donor priorities, start researching on these opportunities and align with these opportunities, and then leverage partnerships for these opportunities as well, right? Leverage partnerships for these opportunities. And then finally, build visibility, build impact. Donors love to fund businesses that are very visible because they know that once they fund businesses that are very visible, it also makes them visible because they themselves they also want to be able to gain something. And what do they really want to gain? They really want to gain visibility. Do you understand? So if you are visible, then you are positioning yourself for funding. And then finally, the last few points before we call it a day on this section, and I hope that you are getting value. If you have questions, please ask. So, where do you find grant opportunities? Number one, I made a post some days ago on my social media and I said you need to there are three ways. Okay, I posted I said that you should use social media search engines. That's very, very important. If you search grant opportunities on Facebook, Instagram, content related to grants, the algorithm will be put on your feed because they know you are interested in those kind of content. Once you search Google, you would find a lot of friends and family, very important. You can get from friends and family. You can pitch your business to friends and family and get granting from them. Then you can go to donor specific websites, when you know those donor. For example, it's currently open. If you go to their site, you will find it there to apply the qualifications and all that. Then there are some specific websites Africa. If you go to MSME Africa, there are grant funding opportunities there. So you will definitely find those opportunities there. You can go to Opportunity Desk. Opportunity Desk is also another very good site where you can find funding opportunities. You can go to funds for NGO if you're an NGO. You can go to awards. You can go to Shopify, right? If you go to Shopify, you will find grant opportunities there as well. But most of the sites I use are majorly around MSME Africa and Opportunity Desk. For businesses, you will find a lot there. So all you just need to do is to Nigerians and then look at the qualifications or the eligibility criteria to determine whether you qualify or not, and then consistently look out. Now, finally, note this and note this very, very important point. Motivation and desire starts you, but determination and discipline gets you there. I know that a lot of us are motivated. When you saw the hats for the free training, you were excited about it, you were motivated, you wanted to give it a try and all that. You're motivated, beautiful, congratulations for that. But that's not enough. You also need, determination and discipline to be able to get there. Number two, you need to know that a strong idea that has been communicated poorly is still a weak proposal. So you may have a strong idea, but how you communicate it matters a lot. If you're unable to write a very good quality proposal that will convince your funder, you've still had a weak proposal, right? And then number three, donors don't fund needs, they fund solutions. They don't fund side hustles, they fund systems that can work. So you need to be able to demonstrate to the donors that you are not it's not just a need, but you have a solution for the need. Do you understand? So you have a solution for a particular need that you have identified. And it is not a side also, but it is a system that can work and that can grow, that is scalable. Do you understand? So once you are able to prove that to donors, then they are excited and then they are happy to fund you, especially when it aligns with their priorities. And that's the reason why you should research on different donors before you put out your applications. You should try to understand what their priorities are. And when you understand what their priorities are, you align your priorities to the donor priorities. When you align your priorities to the donor priorities, you are speaking their language, you are talking the way they want. You are telling them exactly what they want to hear. It's like music to their ears. So it's easy for them to just say, wow, okay, we can move on with this particular pitch or with this particular opportunity. And I think that if you follow this, it's going to help you to really, achieve the most. And then I believe that you are going to be glad that you did. If there are questions, you can put it in the chat. I'll be happy to respond to your question. But I want to believe that we've had a good time tonight. I don't want this to go beyond an so I would say thank you so much for showing up. Please chat and I am going to ensure to respond to them in due time. For now, enjoy the rest of your evening and I wish you all the very best for year 2026 as you position your business for revenue growth and for grant winning. Bye for now.